The commander slapped her mid-drill. She crushed his helmet and his pride in seconds. Picture a gas giant called Aurora Core, its crimson and violet storms churning like a cosmic wound. Orbiting above, a fortress of chrome and glass glints in the starlight, the Stellar Concord Academy. It's no school, it's a cage, a monument to the Interstellar Alliance's arrogance, built to tame a species they call reckless, violent, primitive. Us, humans. They think they can sand down our edges, mold us into obedient cogs for their perfect galaxy. They're wrong. And one woman is about to show them just how wrong, in a way that'll burn their precious order to ash. Her name's Zara Cade, 26 years old, forged in the ruins of New Chicago, where survival meant fighting for every scrap. She's not a soldier, she's a weapon. Lean, coiled, with eyes like daggers that cut through bullshit. Her personnel file is a legend among the Academy's alien bureaucrats. A catalog of rebellion and insubordination so bold it makes gods nervous. Raised in a city where trust was a luxury and defiance a birthright, Zara learned early that the only rules worth following are the ones that keep you alive. The Academy itself is a marvel, I'll give them that. Floating platforms, holographic displays cycling through 47 alien languages, anti-gravity arenas that hum with the promise of pain. It's all designed to integrate us, to civilize the apes who treat war like a game and rules like suggestions. The Alliance believes they can reprogram humanity with drills, discipline, and lectures on galactic etiquette. They've got courses on conflict resolution, cultural sensitivity, and how not to embarrass your species in front of snooty aliens. But they forgot one thing. You don't tame a storm, you survive it. Enter Commander Thalor, a 7-foot reptilian from the Varkian Dominion. He's a predator in a uniform, all scales and swagger, exiled to this bureaucratic hell after some scandal he won't name. His scales shift with his mood, teal for disgust, crimson for rage, and right now they're a sickly teal as he glares at the human recruits. His job is to mold us, to break us into submission. He stands before the group, voice booming with condescension, calling us persistent but primitive, demanding we kneel to the galaxy's order or shatter under its weight. Zara just stands there, jaw tight, eyes blazing with something dangerous. She's not alone. The other recruits are Earth's finest, or maybe its most stubborn. Li Wei, a wiry guy who can turn cafeteria scraps into explosives. Sanchez, a tech savant who'd hotwire a starship for fun. Patel, a silver-tongued trickster who once convinced an alien diplomat that humans reproduce through ritual combat. They're not here to play nice. Every day they push back. A prank here, a hacked hologram there. Chaos as a reminder that no matter how many rules the Alliance writes, they can't chain a species that thrives on breaking them. In the cafeteria, it's a riot. Li Wei rigs a food dispenser to spray neon green sludge over an alien instructor's robes. Sanchez hacks a display to flash Earth slang in a dozen languages. Patel spins a story about it being an ancient human tradition, and the humans laugh while Thalor's scales flare orange, his patience fraying. It's not rebellion, it's survival, a way to say, we're still here and we're not bowing. But today's different. In a training drill, Zara moves through a simulation arena like violence made flesh. Laser grids slice the air, holographic enemies lunge, and she dismantles them with brutal, improvised precision, ripping one's core apart with her bare hands. The alien observers, all tentacles and crystalline forms, gasp, their chimes ringing with alarm. Thalor watches from a command platform, scales pulsing with agitation. He sees her defiance, her refusal to follow his precious protocols, and marks her as a threat. Zara pauses mid-drill, locking eyes with him. Her smirk is a weapon, her gaze a dare. Thalor doesn't know it yet, but he's staring into the heart of a storm. One human, one alien, one moment that's about to ignite a war of wills that'll shake this academy to its core. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an empire that's never been challenged? Stick around, because this story's about to explode. The stellar Concord Academy hums with the cold precision of a machine that thinks it's a god. Its training bays are arenas of light and steel, where holographic enemies flicker into existence and anti-gravity platforms gleam like they're polished by someone's desperate need for approval. This is where the Interstellar Alliance tests us, where they try to hammer humanity into their mold of perfect, obedient soldiers. They think they've got us figured out. They think they can predict us. But today, in Training Bay Alpha, Zara Cade is about to teach them a lesson they'll never forget. The simulation is simple enough on paper. Infiltrate a hostile ship, neutralize the guards, and secure a data core. It's the kind of drill the Alliance has run 1,000 times with 43 other species, hitting a 97% success rate. They've got it down to a science. Move in formation, scout the corridors, follow the designated entry points like good little cogs in their Galactic machine. But Zara, she doesn't do cogs. She doesn't do predictable. She looks at their carefully mapped playbook and sees nothing but a challenge to burn it down. The arena comes alive with a pulse of light. Holographic walls rise, forming a maze of corridors that mimic a starship's guts. Red laser grids sweep the air, and simulated enemies, hulking drones with glowing eyes, patrol in perfect sync. The other recruits, Leeway, Sanchez, and Patel, gear up at the starting line, their faces a mix of anticipation and mischief. They know Zara's about to do something insane. They're not just here to follow orders, they're here to watch the show. Zara checks her gear with the kind of calm that makes you think she's done this in real wars, not simulations. Her movements are sharp, economical, like she's saving every ounce of energy for the chaos to come. The countdown begins, and Commander Thalor looms on the command platform above, his scales a pulsing orange, like a volcano ready to erupt. He's watching her, waiting for her to screw up, to give him an excuse to crush her spirit. Good luck with that. The buzzer sounds and the team moves out, or at least they try to. The plan is to advance through the main entrance, a reinforced hatch the Alliance calls the designated entry point. It's the safe route, the smart route, the one every other species would take. Zara takes one look at it, smirks, and pulls a plasma charge from her belt. Before anyone can blink, she slaps it onto a nearby wall, a load-bearing bulkhead the architects swore was indestructible, and detonates it. The explosion isn't massive, just a sharp crack that rattles the observation gallery's windows. But it's enough. The wall collapses in a shower of sparks, revealing a jagged new entrance straight into the ship's core. The simulation's AI stutters, its holographic enemies freezing for a split second, like it's trying to process what just happened. Up in the gallery, alien observers, crystalline Zorathians, tentacled Lumora, chime and chitter in alarm. Thalor's scales flare brighter, his claws gripping the platform's railing hard enough to leave dents. Zara's voice crackles over the comms, cool as ice. Entry point achieved. Proceeding with objectives. She's technically following orders, but she's doing it in a way that spits in the face of every rule the Alliance holds dear. Her teammates don't hesitate. Leeway dives through the breach, tossing a homemade flashbang that blinds a drone patrol. Sanchez hotwires a floating security bot, turning it into their personal escort. Patel, grinning like a kid who just stole the teacher's answer key, starts taunting the holographic enemies in 3 different languages, drawing their fire. The humans move like a pack of wolves, chaotic but coordinated, each one feeding off Zara's audacity. They're not just beating the simulation, they're rewriting it. The data core is supposed to be at the end of a gauntlet, guarded by layers of defenses. Zara's shortcut bypasses half of them. She slides under a laser grid, snaps a drone's arm off with a wrench, and keeps moving, her focus so intense it's like the rest of the universe doesn't exist. Thalor's voice booms through the comms, sharp enough to cut steel. Recruit Cade. The exercise parameters clearly specify the use of designated entry points. You are deviating from protocol. His words drip with the kind of forced calm that says he's one step away from losing it. Zara doesn't even pause. Negative, sir. Adapting to battlefield conditions using available resources. Mission parameters remain on track. She's right, and that's what makes it worse. The data core is in her hands before the simulation's clock hits the halfway mark. The holographic enemies are in pieces, their programming no match for a human who treats rules like suggestions. The mission is a success. Faster, cleaner, and more efficient than any of the Alliance's precious protocols ever predicted. But it's not about the win, it's about the how. Zara didn't just break the rules, she made them irrelevant. Up in the observation gallery, the aliens are losing their minds. Zorathian crystals pulse with frantic light, like they're screaming in colors. Lumora tentacles twitch, broadcasting biochemical panic. Even the Academy's AI seems rattled, its monitors flickering as it tries to log the chaos. The human recruits, watching from the sidelines, are grinning like they just won the lottery. They know what's coming. They know Zara's not done. Thalor descends from his platform, his scales now a blazing orange-red, the color of a predator who smells blood. He halts the simulation with a single command, the arena freezing around Zara like a snapshot of a hurricane. Holographic enemies dissolve and the air grows thick with tension, the kind that says someone's about to do something spectacularly stupid. Zara stands in the center, still holding the data core, her smirk daring Thalor to make his move. He calls her to the command platform, his voice carrying the weight of an empire that's never been challenged. The aliens lean forward, their eyes, optics, crystals, whatever, locked on the scene. The humans exchange looks, their grins fading into something harder, something that says they've seen this dance before. Zara walks toward Thalor, each step deliberate like a predator stalking another predator. The Academy's perfect order is cracking, and everyone can feel it. This isn't just a drill anymore, it's a spark, and Zara Cade is the flame. What happens when she collides with Thalor's iron will? When a human who bows to no one faces an alien who demands submission? You're about to find out, because this storm's just getting started. The air in Training Bay Alpha is thick, like the moment before a star goes supernova. The stellar Concord Academy's perfect sterile order is unraveling, and every eye, human, alien, and artificial, is locked on Zara Cade. She stands in the frozen simulation arena, the stolen data core still in her grip, her smirk a blade that cuts through Commander Thalor's authority. He's called her to the command platform, his scales blazing a furious orange-red, and the tension between them is a live wire, sparking with the promise of chaos. This isn't a drill anymore. This is a reckoning, and it's about to set the galaxy on fire. Thalor towers over the platform, 7 feet of reptilian muscle, his claws flexing like he's imagining them around Zara's neck. His voice booms across the bay, sharp enough to shatter glass, dripping with the kind of contempt that comes from a lifetime of unchallenged power. He calls her performance a disgrace, a barbaric display of everything the Interstellar Alliance is trying to fix in humans. Her tactics, blasting through walls, ignoring protocols, are proof, he says, of our primitive nature, our inability to rise above chaos. The words hang heavy, each one a jab meant to break her, to make her bow. The observation gallery is a circus of reactions. The Zorathians' crystalline forms pulse with frantic light, their chimes ringing like warning bells. The Lumora's tentacles twitch, broadcasting panic in biochemical bursts. Even the Academy's AI seems to glitch, its monitors flickering as it struggles to log the escalating drama. The human recruits, Li Wei, Sanchez, Patel, stand on the sidelines, their grins gone, replaced by a hard, quiet intensity. They know Zara, they know she doesn't bend, and they know Thaylor just made a mistake he can't take back. Zara stands at attention below the platform, her posture rigid, her dark eyes fixed on a point just past Thaylor's shoulder. She's silent, but it's the kind of silence that screams danger, the kind that makes predators rethink their place in the food chain. Thaylor doesn't see it. He's too caught up in his own authority, too blind to the storm he's poking. He steps closer, his scales shifting to a deep, pulsing crimson, the color of a king asserting his throne. And then, in a single catastrophic moment, he crosses a line no one saw coming. He raises his claw and slaps Zara across the face. The sound cracks through the bay like a gunshot, echoing off the chrome walls. A red mark blooms on her cheek, and for a heartbeat, the entire Academy holds its breath. The Zorathians' chimes cut off mid-note. The Lumora freeze, their tentacles curling in shock. The humans clench their fists, their eyes burning with something primal. Even the AI's monitors seem to stutter, as if the machine itself can't process what just happened. Thaylor stands there, smug, like he's just disciplined a disobedient pet. But Zara, she doesn't flinch. Her head turns slightly from the impact, but her eyes snap to Thaylor's. And what I see in them isn't pain or fear, it's fire. Pure, unyielding fire, the kind that burns empires to ash. Every survival instinct in Thaylor's reptilian brain should be screaming to run, but he's too arrogant to listen. He opens his mouth to lecture her again, to double down on his authority. That's when Zara moves, and the galaxy learns what happens when you corner a human who's done playing nice. In a blur of motion, she lunges. Her fist slams into Thaylor's helmet, a masterpiece of Varkian engineering designed to withstand plasma blasts and hard vacuum. It doesn't stand a chance. The crystalline visor explodes into 1,000 glittering shards, each one catching the bay's lights like a dying star. The metal frame buckles, stress fractures spiderwebbing out from the impact with a precision that'd make an engineer weep. Thaylor staggers, his scales flashing a chaotic mix of colors, shock, pain, fear. Zara doesn't stop. Her hand closes around his throat, her grip like a vice forged in the ruins of New Chicago. She lifts him just enough to make him feel it, her other hand still clutching fragments of his shattered visor. The light dances across her face, casting shadows that make her look like something out of humanity's darkest myths. A goddess of wrath, a demon of defiance. Her voice is low, steady, the kind of calm that terrifies. She tells him where she comes from. When someone puts their hands on you without permission, it's an invitation to show them exactly how primitive you can get. The observation gallery erupts. The Zorathians resonate at frequencies that sound like panicked screams. The Lumora's biochemical signals spike, filling the air with the scent of alien dread. The human recruits are on their feet, shouting, their voices a mix of pride and fury. Li Wei's got a grin like he's about to build a bomb just for the hell of it. Sanchez is already hacking the bay's cameras to save this moment forever. Patel's laughing, but it's the kind of laugh that says he's ready to fight the whole galaxy if Zara gives the word. The Academy's systems go haywire. Alarms blare, code orange, code red, the AI begging for someone to tell it what's happening. Medical alerts scream about incoming casualties, diplomatic chimes warn of an interspecies incident. Even the cafeteria's systems kick in, like the AI thinks comfort food might fix this mess. Director Selene Vara, the Academy's bioluminescent boss, materializes in the gallery, her glow dimming as she clutches a comm device that's blowing up with panic from every department. She steps to the platform, her voice cutting through the chaos like a knife. She tells Zara to release Thalor, to let them handle this through proper channels. It's a plea dressed up as an order, and everyone hears the tremor in it. Thalor's gurgling now, his scales a sickly gray, his vocal cords struggling under Zara's grip. The humans, the aliens, the AI, they're all waiting, holding their breath, knowing the next few seconds will decide whether this is a footnote or a legend. Zara's eyes flick to Selena, then back to Thalor. Her expression is unreadable, but there's a weight to it, like she's balancing 1,000 choices, each one more dangerous than the last. She speaks, her voice steady, reasonable, and somehow more terrifying than a shout. She says she's happy to follow protocol, but first, Thalor owes every human in this room an apology for thinking he could put hands on one of us and walk away. The words land like a missile. The bay goes silent, the kind of silence that feels like the universe is holding its breath. Thalor's scales flicker, his eyes wide with something I've never seen in a Varkian before. Fear. Zara's not just challenging him, she's challenging the entire alliance, their rules, their arrogance, their belief that humans are something to be fixed. This is the moment everything changes. This is the spark that'll ignite a war of wills. And you won't believe what happens next. Training Bay Alpha is a frozen battlefield, the air heavy with the aftermath of a storm. Zara Cade stands like a statue of defiance, her hand still locked around Commander Thalor's throat, his shattered helmet glittering on the floor like the wreckage of his pride. Her words echo in the silence, a demand for an apology that's more than words. It's a challenge to the Interstellar Alliance's entire system. Every eye, from the crystalline Zorathians to the human recruits, is glued to this moment. The Stellar Concord Academy, with its chrome walls and humming systems, feels like it's holding its breath, waiting to see if this spark will fizzle or set the galaxy ablaze. Thalor's scales are a dull, sickly gray, his eyes wide with something no Varkians ever shown in public: vulnerability. His vocal cords strain under Zara's grip, each breath a reminder that he's not the apex predator here. The observation gallery is chaos held in check. Zorathians pulsing with anxious light, Lumora tentacles twitching like they're caught in a nightmare, and the human recruits, Liwei, Sanchez, Patel, standing ready, their eyes burning with pride. The Academy's AI is having a meltdown, alarms clashing in a symphony of panic, while Director Selene Vara's bioluminescent glow flickers, her voice pleading for Zara to stand down. But Zara's not moving, her eyes sharp as a blade, hold Thalor's. And there's a weight to her silence that says she's not bluffing. She's not just demanding an apology for herself. She's demanding it for every human who's been called primitive, every recruit who's been looked down on by an empire that thinks it's a god. The seconds stretch, each one heavier than the last, until Thalor finally speaks. His voice is rough, choked, but the words come precise and deliberate, like a man staring down his own execution. He apologizes for his inappropriate conduct, for his lack of cultural sensitivity. The words hit the bay like a shockwave, rippling through the gallery, the recruits, the very walls of the Academy. A Varkian commander, a 7-foot symbol of galactic authority, admitting fault in front of subordinates. It's unheard of. The Zorathians' chimes falter, the Lumora's biochemical signals flatline, and the humans. They don't cheer, they just nod, like they knew this was coming, like Zara's grip on Thalor's throat was destiny. Zara holds him for one more heartbeat, letting the weight of his words sink in, then releases him with a grace that says she could have kept going forever. She steps back to regulation distance, snaps to attention, and says, "Apology accepted, sir." Her voice is calm, almost polite, but there's a fire in it that says, "This isn't over, not by a long shot." Thalor stumbles, clutching his throat, his scales flickering between gray and a faint, humiliated teal. The gallery exhales, the tension breaking like a dam, but the air's still electric, charged with the knowledge that something fundamental just shifted. Director Selene Vara doesn't waste a second. She's on her comm device, barking orders to every department, her glow pulsing with the kind of urgency that says she's trying to outrun a disaster. The Academy's administrative machine lurches into action, conference rooms lighting up with emergency meetings, policy committees scrambling to rewrite rules that never saw this coming. Within hours, they've banned physical contact between instructors and students, reclassifying it from occasionally necessary to absolutely prohibited under penalty of whatever the human decides to do next. It's a rule written in fear, and everyone knows it. Thalor's fate is sealed just as fast. He's enrolled in an accelerated cultural sensitivity program, classes on interspecies dynamics, non-hierarchical societies, and how not to get your helmet smashed by a subordinate. They've even scheduled him for counseling with the Academy's xenopsychology team, who are practically salivating at the chance to study a Varkian who's tasted human wrath up close. His reconstructed helmet, scarred with stress fractures, sits on his desk like a warning, a reminder that authority doesn't mean invincibility. Zara, though, she's no longer just a recruit. The Academy's bureaucrats, still reeling from the chaos, create a new position on the spot, cultural liaison, a job that didn't exist 30 minutes ago. She's tasked with bridging the gap between human recruits and alien instructors, facilitating understanding, preventing more incidents. Her personnel file, already legendary, gets a new chapter, one that calls her a force of applied interpersonal dynamics. The humans, Liwei, Sanchez, Patel, meet up in the cafeteria later, their voices low but fierce with pride. They know what Zara did wasn't just for her. It was for them, for every human who's ever been underestimated. The fallout doesn't stop at the bay. Whispers of the incident spread through the Academy's halls, carried by recruits, instructors, even the AI's data logs. The humans walk a little taller, their defiance now tinged with something sharper, respect. The aliens, from the Zorathians to the Lumora, start studying us differently, their notes less about primitive tendencies and more about unpredictable resilience. Celine's comm device keeps chiming, department heads panicking over memos that'll take years to untangle. She's already drafting an incident report that'll spawn new regulations, new training modules, maybe even a new galactic holiday. Don't slap a human day. Zara moves through it all like nothing's changed, but everything has. She's still the same woman who tore through New Chicago's ruins, who turned a simulation into a masterclass in chaos. But now she's something more, a symbol, a spark that's already spreading. The recruits look to her, the aliens watch her, and the Academy itself feels different, like it's waking up to a truth it tried to ignore. Humans don't bend, and they sure as hell don't break. But this isn't the end. The Academy's still spinning, its rules rewriting, its leaders scrambling. Thalor's learning his lesson, but will it stick? And Zara, she's just getting started. What happens when a woman who's rewritten the rules once decides to rewrite them again? When the galaxy realizes it's not civilizing us, but learning from us? Stick around, because this fire's only burning brighter. The stellar Concord Academy still orbits Aurora Core, its chrome spires glinting like a challenge to the stars. But it's not the same place it was a week ago. The air hums with something new. Not the cold arrogance of an empire trying to tame a species, but the electric pulse of change, of a galaxy waking up to what humans really are. Zara Cade started a fire in Training Bay Alpha, and its flames have spread, reshaping the Academy, the Interstellar Alliance, and maybe the whole damn universe. This is the story of what happens when you try to break a species that's built to break the rules. The Academy's halls feel different now. The holographic displays still cycle through 47 languages. The anti-gravity platforms still gleam, but there's a shift in the way people move, the way they talk. Human recruits walk with a confidence that's less about defiance and more about knowing they've earned their place. Alien instructors, Zorathians, Lumora, even the Varkians, watch us with a new kind of caution. Their notes now filled with words like adaptability and resilience instead of primitive. The old rules, the ones that tried to sand us down, are gone, replaced by protocols that actually listen to what humans bring to the table. Zara Cade is at the heart of it. She's no longer just a recruit, she's the Academy's cultural liaison, a role carved out of the chaos she unleashed. She sits in meeting rooms with bureaucrats who used to flinch at her name, guiding discussions between humans and aliens with a sharp wit that cuts through bullshit like a plasma torch. She's teaching the Alliance what we've always known. Strength isn't about following orders, it's about knowing when to break them. And the aliens? They're starting to get it. Slowly, sure, but they're learning. Commander Thaler's changed too. His reconstructed helmet, scarred like a battle-worn relic, sits on his desk as a reminder of the day he underestimated a human. His scales don't flare with contempt anymore. They stay a steady emerald, the color of someone who's listening. He's in those cultural sensitivity classes, studying human history, asking questions about why we fight the way we do. He even joins a training session not as an overlord, but as a partner, sparring with Li Wei and actually laughing, when Sanchez hacks a drone to play Earth pop music mid-drill. It's not redemption, not yet, but it's a start. The ripple effects are bigger than the Academy. Word of Zara's stand spreads through the Interstellar Alliance like wildfire. Other integration academies, from the ice rings of Zephyr to the lava fields of Korath, get new directives: respect human methods, prioritize cultural exchange, and for the love of the stars, don't hit anyone. Military colleges across 43 star systems rewrite their textbooks, adding case studies on reciprocal authority dynamics, a fancy way of saying, don't mess with humans unless you're ready for a fight. The Alliance's behavioral protocols, untouched for centuries, get a new chapter, one that sounds like it was written by someone who's seen Zara Cade in action. Back at the Academy, the observation galleries have become a tradition. Whenever human recruits train, the seats fill with alien instructors, administrators, even visiting diplomats, all watching with the kind of fascination you'd give a supernova. Patel runs a drill, charming a holographic enemy into lowering its guard. Sanchez hotwires a platform to do flips mid-air. Li Wei turns a smoke grenade into a light show that leaves the Zorathians chiming in awe. And Zara, she moves through it all, not as a leader, but as a spark, the one who showed them what's possible. The humans haven't stopped being humans. They still prank, still improvise, still treat authority like a puzzle to solve. But now the aliens don't try to stop it. They study it, learn from it, even laugh at it. The cafeteria's a battleground of ideas, with Lumora sharing their biochemical recipes and humans teaching them about barbecue. The training bays are louder, messier, but stronger, because they're built on respect, not control. The Academy's mission to civilize us? It's flipped. Now it's a place where civilizations learn from each other, where the galaxy's starting to see that humanity's chaos is its strength. Zara's legacy is everywhere. Her name's whispered by recruits, studied by scholars, feared by bureaucrats who still wake up sweating from nightmares of shattered helmets. She's not a hero, not in the clean, polished way the Alliance likes. She's a force, a reminder that humans don't just survive. We reshape the world around us. The Academy, once a cage, is now a crucible, forging something new, something better. And it all started with one woman who refused to bow. As I stand in the observation gallery watching Zara lead a mixed team of humans and aliens through a drill, I can't help but smile. The galaxy tried to tame us, to make us fit their mold. But we're not here to fit. We're here to break the mold, to show them that civilization isn't about order. It's about growth, about learning, about standing up when someone tries to knock you down. Zara Cade didn't just change the academy, she changed the question. It's not about who's civilizing whom, it's about who's got the courage to build something new. So here we are, on the edge of the stars, in a universe that's finally starting to listen. The fire Zara lit is still burning, and it's only getting brighter. Humanity, we're not done yet, not by a long shot. And if you think this story's over, you haven't seen anything. The galaxy's about to learn what happens when we really get started. If this story lit a fire in you, smash that like button and share it with anyone who's ever felt underestimated. Subscribe and hit the bell because we've got more HFY epics coming. Tales of humans defying the odds, breaking the rules, and rewriting the stars. Drop a comment. What would you have done in Zara's place? Let's keep this fire burning. Until next time, stay defiant, stay human, and keep reaching for the stars.